Back to another episode of Jacksonville Metal Militia. I am your host, Stephen Van Terra. And with us today is Jose, voted sexiest man in 2025. No, I'm kidding. No, you still better hide the baby oil. And our special guest today from the Lex and Terry Radio, we got Lex Staley. How are we doing?
Yeah. Thank you for being
I am good, man.
Awesome. So,
thanks for having me, by the way. This is awesome.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Long time. I've always timed in with you guys. I'm a long time listener. You know, I've never called. I've always been like the big pussy to never call in, man. Because sometimes I listen to the guys that call and you guys just kill them. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be that guy that calls in. They just kind of get me a little bit, you know. Oof.
But yeah, you should call in. We're a little kinder and nicer now. You know,
yeah.
I don't know what happened, but
you've lightened up over the years just a little bit.
I think our audience got older and less moronic is what happened.
Yeah, man. I think I've been listening. I've been listening since
starting in '93.
I've been listening since 93, since I was in the 8th grade.
That's when we started.
Yeah, and I remember we were going to go down to the Gator Bowl. That's when we got around the time we had the Jaguars, and I think you guys were supposed to walk up or whatever, and you're supposed to have a crowd with you, or everybody's walk up and together. And I guess it never materialized, and we just happened to see Terry. And so it was me and my Uncle Craig, and my dad goes, "Hey, man, I think that's Terry." And my Uncle Craig, who was already partied up and tailgated, he's like, "Terry." And so he comes over and talked to Terry for a minute, and he told us what happened and all this and that. So, and this other lady who was there, she had already been partied out, kind of like in Wayne's World. You know, she's already way too partied out. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right. But, yeah, man, that's my first experience with knowing about Lex and Terry. So ever since, listening from the 8th grade on in the morning, whenever I got my first car, driving to Terry Parker High School, first thing in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's where my ex-wife went.
Wow. Yeah. It's awesome. So
I think she graduated in '83, though.
Oh, yeah. I graduated in 97. Okay.
I graduated in '76.
Hey, that's a really good microphone. Yeah, we didn't catch what you said.
A little too good, I guess.
So 1992, I think things were going to be definitely, I'm going to say, different from now, right? So back then, you know, FCC rules were probably tighter, but yet you guys still got away with so much.
You know, actually, they're tighter now. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Really?
Everything was cool, and I will never understand this. But the Super Bowl, when Janet Jackson had her top pulled off by Justin Timberlake,
right?
All of a sudden, the rain started coming down on us. You know, got people like us and Bubba the Love Sponge and a few other shows around the country were just getting, you know, hammered for everything. And that was right after the Super Bowl happened. You know, it was kind of funny because, you know, our company, who was very good about supporting us and the content and everything, but they flew in this attorney who was just total mob-looking attorney, you know, had $5,000 suit on, you know, $2,000 pair of shoes, you know, just he comes in and he goes, "We got to go over some of the rules." And, you know, it's like, when you're a program director and do morning shows and, you know, you do all these, you know, meetings and stuff like that, you pretty much know what the rules are, you know, and he goes, "You can say dick, but you can't say suck my dick." And we start laughing, and this guy looks at us and goes, "Oh, is that funny? Is this funny to you? You know, we're talking millions of dollars. If you say the wrong thing, is this funny?" It's like, no, it's not funny.
When someone like that walks in a room, all you smell is aggravation and depression, because, I mean, that's all they're bringing with them. They're going to aggravate the hell out of you. You're going to leave the room going, "God dang, do we really now have to, you know, change our ways?" Because, you know, and honestly, I thought it would have been easier then or harder then than it is now. I
No.
thought we would be a little bit more open to say different things now, especially with the things I see and hear on television.
It's such a weird business, man, because, we had this guy that was running our company at the time, which was Cox Broadcasting, I do believe. Mm-hmm. And he was this little, like Billy Mummy on Twilight Zone looking guy. You remember that episode where the kid would like look at somebody and they'd blow up and shit?
Yeah. Right.
That's what this guy looked like. And he was just a total controlling a-hole, except when it came to Lex and Terry having the freedom. He was kind of like, nobody tells me, how my morning show can do what they're doing. And he like totally had our backs.
Nice.
But, in the same day, he'd be down the hall in the program director's office, basically picking the songs for him. It was just a whole weird dynamic. But, our ratings were so out of control and we were making so much money. I think,
they had to let you slide at that point, right?
They just kind of let us slide. Yeah. And, which made he and I into very bad people for a while. Our sense of entitlement was just totally out of bounds. Now we've been slapped into reality. We're back to being the good people we were before we started doing this show.
Now, is that the time that you guys made that commercial where you were like at a podium letting everybody know, hey, we're leaving Jackson, going to Texas, and the second you guys
you're
the best. There's no one better than us. Thank you guys.
That was actually after we left Jacksonville. That was for Q102 in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And we cut two different commercials. One of them was the tomato one, and it's the whole idea was to be up there like, you've been here about 6 weeks and we're number one.
Yeah.
The total attitude and tomatoes start going
flying.
And then the other one we did, we got in lots of trouble for this. We got lots of trouble for several commercials, but this one, we had like a kid in a hospital room.
Yeah, I see that.
And the kid goes, Lex and Terry. He's got all kinds of stuff hooked up to him and everything. And he says, Lex and Terry, can you just do one more show? That's what keeps me going. And we're like, yeah, sure, Jimmy. And Terry goes, it's Johnny. And I'm like, oh, of course. And then it cuts to us standing over a gravestone.
Oh, yeah.
And our station, in their infinite wisdom, decided to run this the first day of football season where the Cowboys were kicking off. So they're 0-0. Everybody's watching. Every Cowboy fan's watching, and they run that commercial, and the switchboard just was like on fire when we walked in.
Yeah.
And
at the end of the commercial, was it you that were like, did you see his mom?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. That's the one they were upset about. It's like, I didn't think we did that bad of a show. Terry goes, did you see his mom? I went, yeah, nice. So we had to recut that. And then the ending we put on that one was, we were standing over it again, but the kid walks up in between us. We're like, what are you doing here? And it was like keeping you out of trouble or something. It totally ruined the commercial. But man, over time we did some bad stuff. The 9/11. Remember the first guy that got caught was kind of like this John Belushi looking guy, and he had like that toga thing on, and he's got his arms out like this. Well, they inserted us in like and it's like everybody loves Lex and Terry. Yeah. Everybody, and it's this guy with his arms around us. And we're like, oh God.
With decisions like that, though, your rating still went up. Even people that didn't like you, I'm sure, listened to see who the heck you guys were anyway, right?
Oh yeah, that's what makes it happen. My favorite one was a real subtle one that Terry did. It was his idea, but remember when Prince's Die crashed in that famous picture of the car?
Yeah.
He had an idea to put a Lex and Terry bumper sticker on the car.
Oh,
so we just put that picture up on a billboard and it said Lex and Terry 6 to 10, and then there was like the bumper sticker was circled on the car. Oh God.
Oh man.
But that's what that kind of stuff's what got us where we are.
So I gotta ask, man. So seeing how it's probably it's tougher now. there was a segment I used to love listening to every Friday, and it was called Drunk Bitch Friday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about bringing that back, or is it just that ain't never happened?
Well, there's a lot of things in play as to why that's not done anymore. One was the money, because we needed an ambulance on hand, a cop, medical personnel type stuff. I mean, it was expensive to do it, but it was well worth it because it was such a monstrous bit. But what ruined the bit, and I'll never understand it, is August Bush's daughter, who lives in Tallahassee. She heard the show one day on our Tallahassee affiliate and just threw a fit with Clear Channel and all that, wanted them all off of there. And she put together this drunk driving coalition, and of course we weren't standing for it. It's like, you're just trying to take the heat off you and look like you're a good person, but you've served alcohol to underage people for years, and our general manager's like, hey,
easy guy, easy.
But even the bud distributor in Jacksonville was like, screw her, man. He goes, by the way, we all hate her. She's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Just thinks because she's August Bush's daughter, she can insert herself when she wants to. And I said, well, it sounds like she can. So we just stopped doing it. It just became too much.
So she probably felt big and strong about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it took a while for it to happen. Also, when we went to Dallas, they didn't care if we did it or not. So we were doing it there. And a different thing started happening, and that was the advent of cell phones. So, these girls' boyfriends were like blowing up their phones while they're on the air with us. We're like, turn it off. And they turn it off, but they turn it back on because they want to get in trouble with their boyfriends, their controlling boyfriends. And it just became too much of a hassle.
Yeah.
I mean, we had so many bid ideas at that time of our career. It was like, well, let's do something else. Who cares?
Yeah. Like who comes up with, is it kind of like a collectively kind of a thing whenever you guys do it, or you come up with the idea? It's like, hey, you kind of just pitching it back and forth, or is it, there's a little bit of everybody, like D and you and Terry, or maybe Sarah?
No, so many ideas came from other people.
Okay.
Like somebody who has nothing to do with the show would say something, and somebody on the show would go, hey, you know what? Like Peter, who was like our manager, our affiliate manager, he's the one that had the idea about Drunk Bitch Friday, and he got it in the weirdest way. I can't remember what it was, but it's a weird story. And so he said, yeah, we should do that. We almost killed the first girl. We were out playing golf that afternoon, and Terry's like, calling her husband every 10 minutes, like, is she okay? It's like, dude, she's the same thing she was 10 minutes ago. She's plowed. She's sleeping. Tee off.
Yeah.
But he's kind of an obsessor guy when it comes to stuff like that. It's like my background in this business. I already seen insanely horrific stuff up until that point, so I was a little less jarred in most of these cases than, but not to say there wasn't concern. It was just like, I've seen worse.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, as an adult, I think everyone has seen someone hammered at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I spent 5 years in the music business, from 87 to 92. Yeah. But, before I came back and, took the job with Rock 105 as program director. And I actually met Terry when I was in LA. So I just thought he'd make a great morning guy.
Yeah.
But the 5 years there where, man, there's just stuff in the music business where you're just like, whoa, man. Is it like this all the time? Yeah. I mean, I think I was, I think I was high the whole time I was there. I'm pretty sure of it.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds accurate. Anyone that you ask that's been in the industry, anybody you ask that's had to work the behind the scenes in the industry will absolutely tell you you wake up in the morning with a beer in your hand and a line on the table ready to go.
And you know what, we have these ideas about metal bands. You know, they're not all like Ozzy and Motley Crue and tear up hotel rooms and throw out TVs. You know, a lot of them are just bands. You know, I mean, I saw more horrifying stuff from pop stars that we were pushing than anybody in the rock side. I mean, these diva chicks and oh god,
damn.
Steve introduced me to a band, and they were on the show. So feel free, anyone who's watching us right now, to go ahead and backtrack a couple of episodes. King Parrot, and after we were interviewing them and talking to him, the lead singer, he doesn't even drink. And to me, I'm standing at my bar right now. The only thing not stopping me from having a beverage is because then we're going to have to pay every time you see that label on there. So today I'm drinking water. But, he's telling me that leaving Australia, coming here to do a tour, the hardest part was everyone's constantly, dude, you rock, have a beverage. And he's like, no, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, he's just trying to let his fans know, and the base that that just met him, he just doesn't consume alcohol,
Yeah, he was like really bad. I think he was saying he used to drink a lot, and he gave it up.
Mm-hmm.
He just couldn't do it no more, which good on him, man, because that's kind of a brutal lifestyle,
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing you notice, when you get in an environment like that, and you do watch the social interaction and all that stuff, a lot of those bands were like that. A lot of them were, to them, it was a career. They didn't want to be messed up. They didn't want to get high. They didn't want, they didn't want anybody in the band like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Bon Jovi, fired all kinds of people because, they couldn't keep except for Richie, who he desperately needed, but the other guys were disposables.
Yeah.
So you keep your act together, or, and he told me at one point, he says, hey man, if you keep half the band straight, the rest of it's a lot easier to maintain and take care of, even though, once he ended up with Heather Locklear, man, they just, went on a blowfest, and that was that.
So with all the people you've been in the business, like, have you ever been starstruck by anybody? You've met a lot of people. Is there just one band or anybody in particular you just lose track of how to speak properly? You know what I mean? Like, you're just starstruck.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with an obvious one, Robert Plant.
Yeah.
He was doing a solo record. My job for Album Network was to produce world premieres, and we'd have a list of questions. I wasn't on it. My boss would ask the questions and all that, but he'd write the questions down for me, and then I would ask them in a recording studio, and I spent on the average 2 to 3 hours with these guys to get it all,
sure,
everything we needed and everything.
Get everything ironed out.
Robert Plant and I were together for like 5 hours because he wouldn't stop asking me about me. I mean, one of the nicest guys. I mean,
really, that's awesome.
Just an incredibly nice human being, and and I was just like, man, are you this cool with everybody? He goes, yeah, I try to be.
Yeah, I seen him in concert with Collective Soul down, I think, the Florida Theater or somewhere or whatever, and he was really good. They had that 29 Palms. I think that's the album he did. Yeah. I seen him there. That was a great show. I was very impressed with it.
Well, he's a pro, man.
Yeah.
He just gave some great insight on Zeppelin and Jimmy and
their
relationship,
awesome.
And just and it wasn't the slop that you heard in magazines and stuff like that. I asked him about it. He goes, yeah, I guess they need something, right? He goes, but we had one of the greatest bands on the planet, and bands don't last forever, and we're both doing different things, So. And I circle back with some guys I know in the Black Crowes, because I was part of that record.
Yeah,
when it came out, it's one thing I'm really proud of. Still got it sitting on my wall over here.
Awesome.
But Rich, the guitar player, they did some dates at the Greek with Jimmy Page on lead guitar, and they did Zeppelin songs and Crow songs, and he echoed, what an awesome dude Jimmy was.
Nice. Hell yeah.
None of the things you hear about, the ego, too good for everybody, none of that.
Yeah.
I think there's some great Jimmy Page stories out there.
Yeah, I think the only time I've ever really been starstruck, and I've met, the guys from Biohazard, because I grew up listening to them. I even opened for them when I had my band. And it was a weird combo. The Insane Clown Posse and Biohazard. I would have never thought they would have yeah. So we opened up for them, those two. We met them. They were really great guys. I met Slayer, a lot of bands, but the one band
I love Slayer.
Yeah,
you look like the lead singer of Slayer.
And well, thank you. The one band I can say I honestly, and I had it mapped out how I was going to talk to this band and how I was going to go down and play it out in my head. And when I got there, I just stumbled all the way through, and that was Pantera. And got to do a meet and greet, and of course it wasn't with Dime, because he passed, sang with Vince, but it was with Zach and Charlie Benante, and it was like, oh my God, I'm giving Zach a hug, holy shit, and there's Rex, and then I'm dapping up Charlie Benante from Anthrax. I'm like, oh my God, it's like you're seeing guys you grew up, and especially with Charlie Benante from Anthrax, I'm like, oh my God, I love Anthrax, and then here's old Philip Anselmo, and I'm like, and the only thing I could ever get out and say was like, oh my God, the 12-year-old in me is freaking out right now, and I blurted it out, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, did I just say that? And he goes, all right, come here, you 12-year-old. He grabs you up by the neck, and I'm trying to have this serious, like, mean look. I've got the biggest smug smile on my face.
That they've seen 1,000 times from little piece of crap 12-year-olds.
Yeah, right. And I'm cheesing ear to ear, man. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, I'll take it, man. I'll take it,
The first time I met them, I really, for some reason, Pantera kind of avoided me, as far as working in radio and playing them and all that. I mean, they just kind of came along when I wasn't in radio or, like when I was in LA or whatever, but I really didn't have much interaction with them. I just, So when we went to Dallas to do the show, which was like in 2006, a friend of mine used to be road manager for Deep Purple, and he knew all those guys, and he took us down to the strip club.
Oh yeah.
And I hung with those guys all night, and I can safely tell you, I didn't give a shit. I was like,
you were there for good time stories.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't Metallica or AC/DC, so I wasn't gripping, But I'll tell you who I did grip with, and you guys may find this funny because, Terry and I are roughly the same age. We're sports fiends too.
Yeah.
Okay. And we had Arnold Palmer on
awesome.
For something.
Oh wow.
I can't remember what it was for, but
I love
it was like the Chris Farley, and it was like, so you hit golf balls. He's like, that's, I mean, it was that bad, both of us.
Oh my God.
I can see myself right now during that interview. So, what made you decide to put the lemonade with the sweet tea?
Yeah,
it's funny. Yeah, I remember I was telling them about, we were talking to Matt from King Parrot. I'm like, I really don't want to be like, and like you referenced Chris Farley. I'm like, so you remember that one time you played that song? That was pretty cool. I didn't want to come across like that,
Yeah, it's kind of like that, man. I've had a few instances like that of artists I really like. They don't come to mind right now, but there's definitely been a couple of them.
Yeah.
And then the best interviews I've probably been a part of are the artists I'm kind of disenfranchised from.
Right.
Like they're huge, but they're not huge to me. Somebody like Springsteen. We had Little Steven on when, Sopranos was going on and all that. And we went out and played golf with him at TPC. And, you know, we were busting his balls about his acting and, you know, about his hair and his solo records and all that. And, you know, and he was being a total sport. You know, he liked it. He liked that we were having fun with him. And comfortable with him. Like, you know, it's just all different. You never know what you're going to get when you have somebody on.
Yeah.
You know, you know, I almost got into fisticuffs with Billy Squire when I was just getting into radio.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How'd that
Well, his first two records are great. And then this third record came out, and the guy that did Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell, Jim Steinman, was part of it, and it was just totally different from the two cool records he did before that. And I just said, what makes you go get Jim Steinman to produce that? And he goes, Jim Steinman. I repeat, Jim Steinman did not produce my record. So I reached down the console and I said, well, Billy, says here that he did. He goes, I don't have to listen to this S, you know. And I'm like, it's just a question, man. You know, if you didn't want the guy to produce it, or the credits got on there and weren't supposed to, that's all good stuff. He's like, no, F you, man, I'm out of here, you know. So yeah, him and the Romantics, I would speed up my car if they were crossing the street.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
You know, I mean, I've just had, you know, mega stars in my presence that were just decent human beings, and I won't put up with that. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, and Terry and I are big Pretenders fans. Chrissy Hind was awesome. You know, he said he grabbed her, she grabbed his butt. Yeah. You know, and you know she got an all innuendo like with me and everything. It was just fun.
Did you get a dollar out of it, or was she a good tipper?
Who?
I mean, if I'm doing an interview and whoever I'm interviewing grabs my butt, I'm expecting a tip.
Oh, you know, she's just a bad girl, man. I never knew. You guys Sex Pistols fans at all?
I know Sex Pistols, yeah.
Yeah. You know, that band was kind of thrown together, like fast.
Yeah.
You know, and I had no idea, and you can watch it on Hulu about the Sex Pistols, but she taught Steve Jones how to play.
No shit.
She was they were boning each other, and you know, she kind of taught him how to play, and that's how, you know, once he ended up in the.
Is that thing on Hulu right now with about the bands, all those episodes?
No. It's this one came out like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
And it's about this. Just look up Sex Pistols Hulu, and it'll take you right to it.
Cool, I'll do that.
But it's kind of fun. It's a little 5-episode. You know.
Yeah.
The guy from Harry Potter plays Malcolm McLaren, you know, a real little shit British guy.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's that's one of my favorite bands. That's how I knew, you know, I was getting into this business and everything was. I was sitting at home. I was 17. My dad's watching ABC World News Tonight with Howard K. Smith, and he goes, there's a lot of unrest over in the UK right now. A band called the Sex Pistols is creating social unrest. And, you know, my dad and I watched the news piece, and I was just like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You know, my dad goes, what a little shit. You know, about Johnny Rotten. And at that moment, I went, okay, that's my new favorite band.
There you go. I have adopted them as my own. They are now my favorite.
Yeah, a couple months later, me and my two buddies driving to Dallas to watch him in what's now a country bar.
Oh.
You know, and didn't even get in. Just I saw it through like a little thing in the door, and then the place, they got through like 5 songs, and something happened, and it's all documented. You know, It didn't go well.
You ever So you ever hear much from old Air Force Amy? I know she was for a while there. I was like, she was on the show, or y'all were out there or something like that. Y'all ever still hear from her at all?
Just talked to her over Christmas.
Yeah.
She's she and I don't vibe that well. Her and Terry have like, you know, she kind of gets on my nerves. You know, and I'm just gonna say it. She's gross.
Okay.
Just doesn't do it for me.
Sir, you are an honest man. Thank you for
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's, if I was counseling her, I would have said, you should have quit this shit 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Can't believe anybody's still paying you. But they do.
Yeah. So what music you listen to? Like, what are your major go-to bands?
Man, I am all over the place. Yeah, and I get into ruts where I'll listen to somebody like my latest one's Rage Against the Machine. I listen to everything they've done the past 3 or 4 weeks, and then I'll at some point get off of that and not probably pick it up again for 2 more years, as I go on to somebody else. I just get in the moods, but I just wrote all kinds of stuff down. I found out a pretty huge elaborate metal history, but when I started looking at some of these bands, I didn't know where to put some of them. I noticed, when I was a kid, we were talking before the show, Who, Zeppelin, AC/DC, Deep Purple, Cream, Humble Pie, all that stuff, which they all have a blues-based thing in common.
Yeah.
But back then, they were, turn that metal shit off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and if you listen to the Who live at Leeds, that still sounds like a heavy metal record to me.
I like the Who. I love the Who. I'm old school, man. I love a lot of the older music too. I've told Jose back when we were having our own little breakdown. My roots, man. My dad raised me on Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Ted Nugent, Aerosmith, Kiss. I mean, I had a great foundation, man. The first tape I ever listened to as a kid was Black Sabbath Volume 4. I think I had Supernaut and Snowblind, and I was like,
I love Supernaut. It's a great song. But when you listen to it, it you kind of go, it's not really metal-y, is it? It's, I don't, metal to me is just thrashing now. That's what metal is in my head. Everything else is kind of like hard blues, hard rock. I've being the radio guy, I've taken all these subcategories and put these bands in them. But when the thing in common with all these bands is they rock hard.
Oh yeah.
And every once in a while I'll find a gem like you see where Metallica got Metallica from, when you hear Budgie,
Yeah.
What was the one they covered like in around 2012? Oh God, I can't remember the song.
See, this is why if David was here, he'd answer that question in a heartbeat.
For Metallica, they covered they did a couple of good covers, man. It was Whiskey in the Jar by Thin Lizzy, and then they also had Turn the Page by Bob Seger.
Yeah, there's another one though. They did God, I can hear the riff. It's like oh God.
Now you got the covers by Metallica.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's probably my favorite Metallica song. And here I can't remember the name of it. It's my Alzheimer's kicking in. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
It's like I don't remember stuff like I used to.
And I guess I was fortunate too with my dad. He got a gift from I think his aunt or his grandmother. It might have been his aunt or either or. She brought him over a little record, those little small little records, and he goes, "Man, I got this for my birthday from her," and it was Black Sabbath. And she didn't know anything. She just thought it was like a church album. And here it is. She's like, "Oh, thanks." So it's like, "Thanks, Grandma." So yeah, man, I love a lot of the old school stuff. I really have a big selection of like Zeppelin, man. I love Zeppelin a lot. I do have a lot of metal roots, but it's all founded thanks to Dad with Sabbath and all that. I love GNR still to this day. Because that Appetite album, man, that was a masterpiece, man. That was so hard. So hot
Appetite's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely amazing, man.
that's when I was out in L.A. It was when Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 came out. And, you know, an album I think they got a little too cutesy on, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but
true.
We had the task of doing the interview and all that stuff with them. And we were, in this case, though, we were doing it live from the A&M lot. And I was there like 3 or 4 days before running cable and testing audio, and just I was exhausted. And we're about to go live 9 o'clock on a Monday night, and it's going to be on like 400 stations around the world. You know, I mean, it was a huge deal, and we're about to start in about 10 minutes, and Duff grabs me and goes and hands me this empty bourbon bottle. He goes, "Hey, man, I need you to go across the street and get me some more bourbon." I went, "Nah, man, I can't. I'm sorry. You know, you have to get some." He goes, "Hey, bitch." He goes, "Get your ass over there." And I'm like, "Hey, man, you know, you can call me whatever you want. I don't care, but I'm technically involved in this. I can't leave, you know." And he gets up and he pushes me.
What?
I'm like, "Man, I've got 4 days without sleep. I'm about ready to tear your ass up." Little Jacksonville ass. You know?
They were throwing an elbow.
And the manager comes over and, you know, sorts it all out and everything. And he's like, "You're lucky, bitch." You know, I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Yeah. Well, 10 years later, we have him as a guest on Lex and Terry. And he comes in, and I'll be honest, I was like, I didn't care if we had him on. I was, you know, not happy we were, to be honest with you. I didn't like the guy. And he picked up on me just kind of staying out of everything. He goes, "Hey, man." He goes, "Did I do something to offend you?"
He didn't even recall the event.
No, I went, "Yeah, man, something like that." And I said, "It's all right." And he says, "No, man, what did I do?" So I told him. He goes, "Oh, my God." And he goes, "I don't even remember that."
Wow.
And I went, "Well, that's good. You didn't look very good in it, actually." So, and that was the other thing I said to him. I said, "Hey, man, as long as we have Slash and Axl, don't even need you. Don't even care if we put you on the air." You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. Pick that.
But he was a super cool guy. He just went out. He goes, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry. What can I do to make things right?" And I said, "You just did, man. It's all good." You know?
Right on, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. And Terry says he runs into him in Seattle, you know, on occasion. He says he's just a totally different dude.
Wow.
You know, we had are you guys Tool fans?
Oh, I love Tool. Love it.
Well, so we had Maynard come through Dallas, and it was at a time where the PDs didn't really want artists talking for a long time on the air because there was a new rating system, but we didn't care, you know.
Yeah.
So they offered him up to us, and Peter, who was like our geeky, you know, manager type guy, he comes in, he goes, "Hey, man, you want to have Maynard on from Tool?" And Terry and I were like, "Yeah, okay, you know, whatever."
Why would you say no, right?
And he goes, "Don't look him in the eye." And we went, "Why?" He goes, "Just don't, you know." He goes, "This guy turns his backs on audience and sings the whole." I said, "Yeah, it doesn't mean he's like that, man. You know, it's."
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, he is, you know." And I went, "Okay." So Maynard comes in, and he looks at us, and I start giggling. He goes, "What?" He goes, "We were told not to look you in the eye."
First thing out of your mouth.
Yeah, first thing out of my mouth.
First thing out of your mouth.
And he goes, "Really?" And Terry goes, Yeah, our manager guy said that you don't like that." He goes, "Oh, it's okay." You know, we're like, and we kind of went, yeah, that's what we thought. You know, so I said, look, man, I said, we really don't know a lot about your music. I mean, you know, Sober, great song, you know, The Pot, love it. Outside of that, you know, don't know much about, you know, any of your other crap you have going on or anything like that. And he's like, sounds great. He goes, I'd rather talk about my winery. And we went,
what? Hey, now that's a promotion.
Yeah.
We went, we can ask you questions about your winery. And he goes, yeah. I said, how much wine do we need to drink where your stuff sounds good?
Oh, man.
And he
like a little drum set on the side and have somebody like,
oh, he spit took his water out. He thought that was great. He was a total sport. I love the guy. I'm a big
awesome.
From that day on, I was a big fan. You know.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Someone like that, where you know what I'm saying, you could just be you, crack a joke, take a shot at somebody, and they're still okay with it. Because you know, there's people you're gonna meet that are super down to earth, and they're fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Gene Simmons. We couldn't get rid of Gene Simmons. Anytime he had something going on, he wanted to call the show. You know, after being on and having a good time, he started calling us, going, "Hey, I got this new movie coming out. If you want to talk to me about it," and it's like, "Yeah, okay, Gene." Yeah, and then after a while, it was like, you know, a weekly. Hey, I got this going on, and you know, we're just like, you always have stuff going on, Gene. You know, it's not a problem with you. Never has been. You know, but he let us talk to him. Like, I'm pretty sure nobody else talks to him, you know?
Right.
It was like he had to win us over, not the other way around. But,
hell yeah.
But super cool guy. Paul Stanley, too, you know? That's
awesome.
And that's one of those things, man. You know, it's like, you know, when I was a kid, you know, in high school, and, you know, Kiss to me was a metal band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's my dad. That's the same thing my dad said. He goes, that was metal.
That was metal. Yeah. You know, and if you put it up against the Deep Purple record or even Dio or something like that, it sounds more metal than it does. You know, Deep Purple was considered a metal band. You know, that's a total blues band, almost jazzy at times, depending on the song. You hear a song like "Lazy," that's a great record, man.
Yeah. So you get down with AC/DC at all?
Yeah, I got a great AC/DC story.
Nice.
A radio station in Jacksonville, Wave FM 97. They were prior to Rock 105. Rock 105 didn't even exist yet.
Right.
There was WJAX, and then there was Wave FM 97. And those two radio stations one of them would play a band, and the other one would automatically add it. And then they would proceed to try to outplay each other on the album to get. Okay. I don't know what they hope to achieve by that. I ended up working with both those guys that ran those stations later on, and neither one of them could tell me why they ran their radio station like that. But I went to the Coliseum to see AC/DC because High Voltage had come out. And, you know, me and my boys, we were going surfing, and that's all we listened to was High Voltage, backwards and forwards for months. And then we found all those earlier records, you know, from across the pond, you know, that you know we haven't even heard yet. You know, TNT and all that stuff you know, and Soul Stripper and all those songs, you know, came before those records. You know, so me and the boys were in total, you know, go to cutout racks and buy, you know, AC/DC records for $1 that never made it to the United States and all that stuff. But that airplay from those two stations, 18,000 people jammed the Coliseum to see them play.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then we found out 2 nights later they were going to be in Savannah, so we drove up there and saw them in a club that barely had 200 people in it because there was no airplay there.
Okay.
You know, then
a little bit of airplay makes such a big change, right? When it comes to something like that.
back then airplay was huge. There was no social media, no anything. It's the only thing that got the needle moved as far as sales, recognition, any of that. When you have two rock stations, and they were playing every song on the record. I remember hearing the whole record laying in my bed at night doing homework and stuff. They're like, She's Got Balls and all that. They were playing all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool, to go up there, and we met them afterwards. They were just at the bar drinking because there was hardly anybody there. After they played their set, they were unbelievable. We were in heaven. We had great view of them, and the sound system sounded great. And we were over at the bar, met Bon Scott, met Angus, met all those guys.
So did you ever run into them afterwards? Like when you started doing radio, did you ever know?
No, never saw him again after that. Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's funny.
Prefer?
Like
who do you prefer? Bon Scott or Bon? Yeah, same.
Yeah. It's not even close. And they're two different bands. I mean, don't get me wrong, Back in Black's one of the best records I've ever heard, beginning to end. But I thought Highway to Hell was even better.
Hell yeah.
Same. Yep. And neither guy could replace the other guy in the style they were doing.
For sure. Absolutely.
To me. But I don't think Angus has really ever gotten the due of how good he really is. As a guitar player. I mean, probably one of the better blues guitar players I've heard. In the rock genre.
Yeah.
And they're just, and the songs are great, and Mutt Lange, the production on their three biggest records, he was just amazing.
Yeah.
He got everything out of them, even though I didn't like it as much once I heard the Def Leppard record that he produced, and it sounded exactly the same, same G chord intonations, and he definitely had a formula. It's not like one of those great producers that can take an empty canvas and do something different for somebody else. There's not many of those guys out there, though, to be honest.
It was more like a carbon copy.
Yeah. I mean, you listen to Def Leppard. I guess it's what was the one that had Photograph on it and Let It Go and all.
Oh hell, yeah. I know that one too.
Yeah, that Pyromania. Yeah, Pyromania. Yeah, that record sounded just production wise like Highway to Hell did to me.
Yeah, yeah. I love Highway to Hell. Like I love a lot of the Bon Scott stuff. I say about 90% is Bon Scott, and I'll sprinkle in 10% of the rest. Not that Brian Johnson was any different, because it is two completely different bands, like you said. Because Back in Black's way different, Razor's Edge was different. Like everything else is just way different.
Not even an ability thing; it was more of an attitude thing. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Bon was just. What's crazy about Bon Scott is, like I was telling Jose earlier, it's like I didn't know that he was in another band before AC/DC. He was a backup vocalist for that little group that sung "Build Me Up, Buttercup."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh my god!" And he got this little suit on. He's swaying back and forth like, "Oh my god, it's Bon Scott."
Huh?
Yeah, it's like seeing Jimmy Page, and playing the guitar solo, and it's not unusual by Tom Jones. I mean, that's so cool.
It goes to show that everyone does start from somewhere, right? So when you see some of these guys and people like we said earlier, starstruck, right? They have to realize they started somewhere, whether they were in the garage, starting a band, or like we said, some people get thrown together. Every single one of them started somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you guys have a metal band that you hate? That gets all kinds of run, but to you they're garbage.
Oh man,
I got mine.
For a while there, it was. I don't want
to hurt feelings.
For a while there, for me, it was Metallica, only because when I was in high school, they released Load, and I was so pissed off. I don't mind people cutting their hair, but it was the whole painting their fingernails. Now they're wearing eyeliner and makeup, and they were no longer metal. They were more like hard rock, which I get it. They reached out for a bigger audience. And the core metal fan that I was in high school, and I'm like, I remember me and my buddies go, "Oh my God, what is this? This isn't Metallica." And I got so pissed off for the longest time. I had never picked up another Metallica album. I don't think I've even purchased another Metallica album since when Load came out. But I can since appreciate Load.
I just thought of the song. It's Bread Fan. You ever heard that song?
You're talking about?
Yeah.
They were doing the cover? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, okay. Red Man.
Because I had to look it up, and apparently, according to this, it says Metallica was actually has history with covers, and they had 6 major covers that people wanted them to sing versus the original artist. So when you said that earlier, I didn't want to stop the the motion that we had because we were doing well, but I'm glad you thought of that.
That song is. They sound a lot alike. If you listen to them next to each other, they did not change the integrity of the song like at all. Just there's a little middle interlude where it has this real melodic guitar where it stops down. It's a little different there, but the rest of the song, whoever the guy was that sang in that band, and I think that was like real early 70s, maybe even late 60s. I'm not sure. And I'm not sure what the band's name was. It's either Florence or Budgie or something like that. Yeah. They're very close to each other, so it's kind of a nice look at what Metallica was into. When they were not even famous or a band yet. It's like this is kind of cool. I like this, and they were respectful enough not to mess with it. But if you get a chance to listen to those back to back, it's pretty fun.
I'll listen. But the one
even though you hate them.
No, I don't hate them too bad, man. I can really I do like Metallica a lot, man. But I think it was just they turned me off on that. But if there was a band I kind of really didn't care for, that I thought I can't understand why people like them. They're an older group, but Dio. I'm not a Dio guy. My buddies love him. They think he's one of the greatest vocalists. I'm like I can't get into him. I don't see the hype about Dio. He sings about dragons and shit, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I was never into the dragon shit either. Uriah Heep and Dio and all that stuff.
Yeah, I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
And even when he was with Black Sabbath, I couldn't get into it.
But I thought he did a good job of Black Sabbath. I mean, that was a ballsy attempt.
Yeah.
But there couldn't be a farther distance between Ozzy and Dio as far as.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And sorry, to me, Ozzy will always be Black Sabbath. It's just
absolutely
the way it is.
That's true.
Absolutely. Who do you hate?
Megadeth.
Oh my God!
Really, Steve? Take your pills.
Say it ain't so.
Take your pills.
I'm feeling right now. I really am. That was the band before Pantera that I loved.
Okay, well here's the thing. Here's why I hate Megadeth. A lot of it, really doesn't have much to do with the music. It has more to do with Mustaine, who 4 decades later still can't let it go.
Yeah. Can't let it go.
Can't let it go. And they stole my riffs, and they, it's like, well, if they stole your riffs, why didn't you use them?
Yeah,
you've had ample time to take the riffs that you invented and do something with them.
Right. Didn't he tell them, didn't he say something to the effect of when he left, he goes, "You could do whatever, just don't use my riffs." What are you talking about? No, shut up. If you want to do something with it, you're not.
Yeah, I mean, they Metallica has demonstrated to me. I didn't know if there was anything to that story. But now that it's 11, 12 albums down the road, that doesn't wash with me anymore. From the Black Album on, and it's, Metallica just made some conscious decisions to get a little more into the mainstream. That's all it was. Enter Sandman on. They you know, that's when, you know, James Kidd's a baby, you know, and he's got shit to pay for, and it's like time to write some hit records. That's all that is, you know. And they hired
the Black Album, man.
The Black Album's amazing, and Bob Rock, who produced that record, you know, got out of them what he needed to get out of them. You know, no doubt about it. Yeah. There was something there that needed to be minutely changed. You know, the songs got better. The production, you know, kind of fit what was going on at the time. You know, Bob Rock did Cult Sonic Temple. I love that record. I love that record so much. And Rick Rubin did the Cult Electric before that. Okay. And you know, I don't know if you like that band or not. They're one of my favorite. Yeah. You know, once again, a metal / alternative / blues. You know, not exactly sure. You know, but they kind of cut their teeth on the alternative radio in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And you know, but Ian Astbury, great singer, man. I just love that band.
Yeah, that's why I told Steve to take his pills when you said Megadeth, because I want to say it was two episodes back. We were just having those conversations, and we had a poll about you know, what we wanted some of our listeners to let us know what we should be talking about, right? And I think you, Steve, and Dave got into this conversation about Megadeth, and that same thing came up. And that's when you said Megadeth, I was like, oh, Steve's gonna have a heart attack. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I could probably go back and listen to some Megadeth and go, okay, this is pretty good. You know, I even remember playing some of it when I was, you know, programming Rock 105 in the early days. But I had a conversation with him, and it had nothing to do with music. We were talking about surfing.
Okay.
And he goes, oh, you surf? And I said, I used to. I'm, you know, had to get a real job, and you know, I just kind of
I needed money.
Yeah, that's kind of what he goes. You know, where'd you surf? I said, you know, Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Sebastian Inlet down south. He goes, oh, East Coast waves. And I said, yeah. I said, there's some great places on the East Coast to surf, dude. And he goes, well, it's not like here. I said, it's not as prevalent as here, but you want to go to Hatteras in the fall and give that a try. I'd love to watch you do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, good luck with that. You know?
Yeah. You know, and that's also like right around the time Kelly Slater won the world championship, his first one. You know, he just won it at 50 something a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I said, he's from Daytona. You know, I said, you know how big the Daytona waves are, dude? They're about this big. You know, there's plenty of great East Coast surfers. Surfers go all over the world to get their waves.
Yeah, they do, man.
They do.
You know,
so I know you mentioned Megadeth, but have you heard the new cover, Ride the Lightning, they did?
No.
Yeah, they covered on the new album they just put out. The bonus song is he covered Metallica Ride the Lightning because he co-wrote it, and he finally did his version of it. And I'm going to tell you, if you take out because Mustaine's vocals are very distinct, and it sounds like he's holding his nose when he's trying to sing.
Yeah.
I think if you were to put Hetfield's vocals on that version of it, you wouldn't be disappointed at all. Matter of fact, you would say I think they're equally great, truth be told.
Well, I just learned something. I didn't know he co-wrote that. So
yeah, he co-wrote it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I love it.
I hear him talk S more about them than them talk S about him.
No,
I guess
for sure.
I guess at one point it was a little back and forth, but you know, I guess you know once you have an 8 platinum record, you don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah, and I think now he's calling for I think he asked Metallica to do a tour with him, like have Metallica Megadeth tour. Now he's calling for the tour to make it happen or whatever. So that'd be kind of cool. I mean, it seems like he's trying to get over the hump or put it to rest, I think.
Well, I mean, you know, it's his to clear. I don't think they care. But
no, I don't think they care at all.
And while he was being an ass, you know, there's no reason for them to. Sorry, man.
The drama there was just
Yeah, I mean, I think you think he was just kind of. I mean, you think about it, he was pretty much jaded by the whole situation, getting kicked out of Metallica, and and he was really he probably put a lot into that, and getting kicked out of a band kind of sucks, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I wouldn't be the first time I ever got kicked out of a band, and I went on to great bands and toured a little bit until I had to get a real job. So,
I mean, how would you feel if you're with Metallica and they kick you out? I'm sure that you had a little animosity towards the.
Yeah, I mean, you would, but I mean, at the same time,
I understand it. It's just that years later, you still got the same drama, and you're still complaining about the same shit. It's like, okay,
I'd like to think I have the ability to know whether something was my fault or not.
Yeah.
And just say I got to own it. I'm the reason this happened. And and it's like we all take a while to get there. We're not doing that when we're 18 years old by any means.
Right.
When you're 18, you're like, "Yeah, fuck you, man."
That's right.
Yeah.
No lies told there.
But when you're, when you get to be in your 50s, 60s, it's like, you know what? This is ridiculous. I stay up way too many nights thinking about this.
Yeah.
And just would like to put it behind me. And, usually if you go to somebody that they say they weren't doing the same thing, but they probably were, and just go, I'm going to be complicit about my end of this, and it was mostly my end. Let's do a tour together. Let's make the fans happy.
Let's go on tour.
Because I do know a lot of those bands people that like both those bands.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy too, because that dude went on to make one of the. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think, and a lot of people would agree with me that he went on to be one of the big four in metal, thrash metal, with Megadeth. I mean, you can't mention thrash metal and not mention Megadeth for all the things they've done. It's like, man, you got kicked out, sure, but you went on to make Megadeth, which was equally great in its own too. So shut up.
Yeah,
I could never understand that.
And I bet Metallica guys have some degree of respect for that. That he went on and made his own band, his own image, and all that stuff. Even though it got dicey between the two, I know if Terry went off to do his own radio show and we split ways, I'd be like happy for any success he's having or whatever.
Absolutely,
absolutely, no problem.
So have you been to any concerts lately at all, or you going to any shows at all? You frequent shows?
The last show I've been to, this is this was probably about 6 months ago. Rhonda and I went and saw Jack White.
Okay.
And man, oh man, whoo!
That was good, huh?
Good
what
show.
An animal! What an animal! This guy, his drummer had like 4, a tom-tom, a snare drum, and a hi-hat and 1 cymbal, and he sounded like he was, near Neil Peart or something. I mean, he was so good. He was so good, and he was kind of a overweight guy. I'm like, and they took no breaks. They played 80 minutes straight, no breaks in between songs. Just kept going from one into another, and it's some pretty high intensity stuff. And he was there for all of it. I couldn't believe it. It's like, man, this guy's gonna keel over.
Somebody kept up on their cardio.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance to see that tour, especially with his last record he did, man, that was just a.
Yeah, I think my wife mentioned she wanted to see that.
Friggin' great record. That should have won all kinds of Grammys, and I think it had 1 nomination. I'm not sure if it won or not. And
right.
But man, what a great record. He just continues to blow me away.
AC/DC's touring again, so you get a chance to check on. I've never seen him, man. I think I had one opportunity.
Oh, you haven't?
I've never seen him. So what happened was my dad bought tickets to go see AC/DC, and I'm like, sweet. And this is when I were doing Razor's Edge with Money Talks and all that. And they came to the Coliseum, and I'm thinking I'm going. Well, he jokes on me. He takes my Uncle Craig. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I never got to see them ever since. But he made it up. He took me to see Van Halen whenever they came to town, which I love Van Halen, So But I've never seen AC/DC. I wouldn't mind checking them out, just to mark it off the bucket list,
I'm in that age group. I got to see all those great bands, late 70s, early 80s. I mean, just all of them. I mean, from Steve Miller to Fleetwood Mac all the way to AC/DC.
Nice.
Def Leppard, just Prince, who was unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to see Prince, man. Especially back in the day that whatever he was doing, like Purple Rain and all that. That's when he was good. He was really, really good.
The Purple Rain tour, and Sheila E. opened, who's hot as blazes.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So
but I know they got Welcome to Rockville. They got Welcome to Rockville. You ever been to one of those?
I have. Who do they have slated this time around?
Jose, you got the list? Because I know we're going to the Thursday, which I felt was, for me at least, the better of the selections. And my daughter.
It's like 4 days now, right?
Yeah. It's just Thursday to Sunday. Yeah, we doing the first day, which I think the Thursday is the best one. And I know that the main acts are Guns N' Roses is the last band to play, Black Label Society.
I love them. Love Black Label Society.
I love Black Label. Alice Cooper, which that's crazy that he's still touring.
Have you ever seen Alice Cooper?
Never seen it, but I love his music.
Alice Cooper does not play when it comes to getting musicians to go on tour with him. He like Jason Hook from Five Finger.
Yeah.
I mean, he just. There's actually a documentary about touring guitarist. Jason Hook was in that documentary. Just people that automatically get hired, because they won't screw it up. They'll go out and take care of it.
The best in the industry, right?
Yeah, Alice Cooper spares no expense. Best drummer, best guitar player, but
really,
anytime he goes out, which pretty much lets me know that he feels that he's a little subpar and needs that, but he's also 74 or something like that. So
yeah, he's up there. When I saw it, I was like, wow, he's still going.
Yeah, so he's still going.
That's gonna be interesting to see him. I hope I think my buddy seen him not too long ago. He said, "Yeah, matter of fact, my buddy Kevin, when I work at UF Health, and he's like, yeah, I seen Alice Cooper." And I was like, wow. It's like, yeah, he still brings it, and I'm like, oh shit. So that's gonna be a fun one.
So this is just their front page, just their front page, because this thing is like 3 pages long. So it starts with. So suicidal tendencies.
Love it.
Monday Parade. Let's see. And I'm kind of just scanning through these real quick. Black Label Society. Hollywood Undead. Alice Cooper. All Time Low. You have Godsmack. Lamb of God. Let's see. The Offspring. Five Finger Death Punch. Foo Fighters.
Yeah, that's Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, and the list goes on.
Foo Fighters is day 1?
No, I think they're day 3. I think they're like Saturday. I think.
One of my favorite bands, man. I went and saw them.
Foo Fighters.
God, they were so good. They were so good when I saw them, and that was the tour before the drummer died.
Yeah,
Taylor Hawkins. But they have no. I saw the new guy. They had a round table thing. Or in the round thing after one of the football games this year on Prime, and they were fantastic. And it's
nice.
They've lost nothing.
That's awesome. I know. Amon Amarth. I don't know if you know who they are. They're a Swedish band. I got to see them with Pantera, and if you haven't listened to them, check them out. There's a song called "Put Your Back Into the Oar." They're a Swedish.
What are they called?
Amon Amarth, A-M.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They are amazing. I had never heard of these guys when I went to West Palm to check out Pantera. And I'm here to tell you, me and David both were just blown away about how great they were. Like musically and everything. They're so tight. It sounds like you're listening to the CD while they're playing or whatever, they were just that damn good. Like we didn't even know the words, but we felt like we knew every word to every song when they were playing. They were amazing.
You know who I couldn't believe still playing that is Dream Theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, they're still around? Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So then I think my daughter, she said, oh, Dad, look, Death Clock's going to be there. And I'm surprised she knew who Death Clock was because they had they were on Cartoon Network at night. And it was a cartoon called Metalocalypse. And they were the metal band.
Metalocalypse.
And they're a real band and they are amazing.
Man, there's stuff coming at us from everywhere, man.
Yeah, man. So the first day is great. It's a great lineup the first day.
Yeah, I was looking over some. I know you're going to ask me this about who some of my favorites were. Either you guys UFO fans?
I've heard of them.
I've heard of them.
Check out a song called Rock Bottom.
Rock Bottom.
Okay.
And tell me it doesn't sound like one of the Metallica songs.
I'll check that out because I definitely know who they are.
Yeah, it's Michael Schenker. His brother Rudy's in Scorpions.
Okay.
But I was Michael's the better player of the two, and he's still doing it. He's still touring as himself. So the UFO is a great band.
Nice. Yeah. I know there's a tour coming up, which I'm trying to squeeze in, and it's going to be up in Charlotte. I might drive up to see, and I don't know if you've even heard of them, Guar. And
I love Guar, man.
Yeah, they're touring again, and it's going to be Guar, Soulfly, which should basically be Sepultura, but it's Soulfly, and then our buddies down under, King Parrot's opening them up for him, and they told us whenever I was talking to Matt, he's like, "Yeah, come out and check us out." I'm like, I may have to go do it, I may have to take a little road trip, so.
It's not that far of a drive.
I love King Parrot, man. I can't. Oh, those guys are so awesome.
We've had Guar on the show a couple times. They're fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
They just stay in character. Yeah.
Really?
We're going to be born alive.
I love it.
And Sarah's like, "You're scaring me. It's kind of hot." Like, okay. All right, Sarah.
So how big are you on originals versus covers, like when it comes to bands?
If somebody can do a cover and do it justice, I'm totally down with it. I either like it one of two ways. I either like it to them to try to do it exactly like it was and see if they can pull it off, right. or do something like totally different.
Sure.
Where you're like listening to the song and you hear the lyrics and you're like, "Oh, I heard those lyrics before." Like Foo Fighters with Baker Street. It's like the original song has that very haunting sax in it. Foo Fighters just play lead guitar, the same riff.
Yeah.
But it's harder. It's harder, more aggressive. But I like them both. They're.
Because we had a conversation with my buddy Keith. We were talking about it, and I was like, "Man, who do you prefer? Like the originals?" Because I love Planet Caravan, and I love Pantera did their take on it. I'm here to tell you, I think musically, Pantera did it better, but Ozzy's voice is just the effect he had on his voice was amazing. That's the one thing. That's the one thing he said. He goes, I'm not a big fan of Ozzy's voice, but what he was able to do, the effect that he had on it for that song was just amazing. I was like, I said, I can give you that. So I would take Pantera's version musically with Ozzy's voice, Yeah. They both kill. They both kill.
I mean, there's so many awesome covers over the years of I used to be able to think of all those and reel them off. Right now, I'm like having trouble thinking of one.
Well, I got a couple I want to throw at you, and if you tell me if you've heard heard it. Ted Nugent, Cat Scratch Fever, and done by the Kings of Metal themselves, Pantera. Have you heard the?
I have not heard that.
Oh my God, Pantera destroys the original version. It's so much better. I love it, love it, love it, love it.
I will check it out.
Yes,
that one by Nine Inch Nails, Steve. That one's
Hurt by Nine Inch Nails, and Johnny Cash redid it.
Oh yeah,
Johnny Cash's version is so amazing. I played it for my daughter one time, and I think we're driving to St. Augustine, and I'm playing Hurt. And next, I hear something. And I'm like, I look back, and she's bawling her eyes out. I'm like, baby, are you all right? She's like, I'm fine. And I was like, wow, that's you. So now she's got it on rotation for the music. You know
what kills me about that song and that cover in particular is he sounds literally like he's singing his last song.
Yeah,
there's something about his voice that it's like, damn, are you gonna make it through this, bro?
But I think like Steve said, when I play it and people hear it and they start listening to the lyrics, they get slightly emotional about it. And then I was like, you know, Nine Inch Nails? Are like, yeah. I said, okay, listen to it again.
And I love Nine Inch Nails version too. But there's a story that Rick Rubin played the demo for Trent Reznor, and at first he was not super on board with it. He was going to push back, and ultimately decided not to do so. Now he says he loves it.
Yeah, I think he said something to the effect like that's his song now. I think he says something like that or another.
Yeah, but I know one time he's like, hey man, that was a real personal song. But I think he finally came to the conclusion it's so personal that it's almost a homage to be personal for somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know I have Metallica and Bob Seger Turn the Page. Yeah. Both equally great, equally great. But I feel like I think Metallica crushed it on that one.
They did crush it, but the Seeger version, the authenticity of that, because it's 74, it's before he got big. I mean, they were a touring monster. Bob Seger up in your area, that whole upper Midwest. He was super well known there, not so much down south or whatever. And that song in particular, just once again, it's like I'm pissed. I'm getting effed with every single day, because I have long hair and it's so good. But Metallica covering it had a cool factor to it.
It did. It did. I wasn't too sure about it. Then when I heard it, I'm like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah,
I was really impressed with it.
Yeah, the one thing when you listen to older records that, and this used to bug me as a kid, because my parents, they weren't big Elvis fans or anything, they were like into Frank Sinatra and all that stuff, and those records were full and full orchestras and, amazingly produced. And then you hear somebody, the station they used to listen to was called Middle of the Road. So you could hear Frank Sinatra and you could hear Elvis all in the same hour, and when you'd hear like a 50s or early 60s songs, they sounded very tinny and empty. And it's always bothered me. And it's like when you hear Turn the Page 74 up against Turn the Page Metallica, I mean, the throatiness and depth and attitude of Metallica is it's like, God, if they would, it's too bad Bob didn't have this at his disposal.
Yeah.
I have that thought all the time, especially about Beatles records. It's like, it's like if you go back and do Paperback Writer or some of those songs, with today's technology, God, they'd be so good.
Yeah.
You a big Beatles guy?
I am. I for Nothing Like It was around, and they were just prolific songwriters and just putting it, I mean, the you don't realize the magnitude of what they've did was when I first got into radio, Rock 105 did a Beatles A to Z weekend. Every song they did from A to Z, and it took almost 6 days to finish it.
Wow.
Dang.
Wow. Yeah. My son Josh, he's a huge Beatles fan. He's 17, a senior in Sandalwood, and I was shocked that he told me he loved the Beatles. I was like, really? You like the Beatles, huh?
Yeah, very, very interesting band because somebody your son's age can love it, and there'll be somebody in the same circle of friends even, like, they suck.
Now, why
worst band ever?
Yeah.
You just kind of go, my daughter, she and I were riding to a horse show when she was 16. That's 12 years ago. And I thought we were listening to my phone on the way up. Because it was like all over, much like the bands we're talking about. It was all over the place, stuff like that. A lot of grunge stuff. I love that era and all that stuff. And one weird song played. I said, "When did I download that?" And she goes, "You did, and I did." And I went, "You listen to all this stuff? Zeppelin, Cream,
nice.
all that?" And she goes, "Yeah, everybody does."
Nice.
I mean, like all your, I'm like, whoa, hold on a second, like all your friends, and she goes, "Yeah."
Nice.
Yeah, I said, awesome. Not Katy Perry, not Taylor Swift, not that crap you were making me listen to just 3 years ago. She goes, no, I don't listen to that. She goes, I don't listen to that much anymore. Then I found this stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently the icebreaker for her was Pink Floyd.
There you
go. She was driving around with her mom and heard "Wish You Were Here" on one of the stations here in Dallas, and she just thought that was the greatest song she ever heard.
And that opened up the gates.
Yeah.
That opened up the gates to everything else. It's funny how that works. Because I know Steve and I were talking about how. So my youngest is 16. The older ones, they got kids and stuff, but seeing the youngest one starting to turn that leaf and listening to certain things and her playlist because I'm listening.
I mean, they're encyclopedias.
Like playing, and I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't know that she was listening to that kind of stuff. And just like Steve said, and like you said, I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? I'm taken back by the fact that they're open enough to listen to it, really enjoy it, and understand what we were listening to when we were younger.
It finally occurred to me. It finally occurred to me why they have the ability to do that, and like guys like us didn't. And it just kind of knocked me across the head, and that is streaming. Spotify. It's like you pay one set fee to download whatever you want.
Yeah.
Where we had to watch our money and buy who was really super important to us, and and I really believe that's the difference. I think if we would have had that kind of ability to get Elvis records and Beatles records and anything else cool, like Link Ray, down. I mean, we probably would have had all that.
Yeah, well, I was having a conversation, I think it was 2 episodes ago, in reference to DJing back in the day, right? So I used to have to buy what's called vinyl. And I had 2 techniques, and I had the cheapest Numark mixer I can find, because that's what I could afford.
Right.
Nowadays, what changes some of the dynamics on the youth is also going to be the movies, right? Because they're taking songs that we listened to when we were younger, and they're placing them in some of these animated movies. They're placing them in movies. So now what happens? Pink Floyd, like you said, they're taking one song from Pink Floyd, they stick it in the movie, they hear it, they want to know what the soundtrack to that is, and boom, now you're exposed to all these other songs that you would have not known had you not watched.
Think about how many times you called a radio station or went up to somebody spinning somewhere and asked if they had something. They went, "Oh no, sorry, man, I don't have that." That doesn't happen anymore.
Right, that doesn't happen.
Like D does a lot of DJing. He's like, "Yeah, just download it and play it."
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, it's crazy with my my other child, Maya. When we're going to Rockville. She listens to Oingo Boingo, Danny Elfman. She loves that. She likes the Gorillas. She listens to Panic. She likes Panic, but that's what got her into it. But when she told me when I heard her playing Cemetery Gates in her bedroom. I'm like, oh my God, I love you even more now.
Yeah.
You know, her Pantera coming out of the bedroom because she went with me down to Tampa to see to the M72 tour. Me and the wife went one day to see Ice Nine Kills, Limp Bizkit, then Metallica. Then the second day, she went and seen Suicidal Tendencies, Pantera, then Metallica. And I would be lying to you right now if I didn't tell you when they started playing Walk from Pantera. And I look over at her and she's saying Walk. I'm like, I had to turn my head super fast. I got choked up. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Come here, you knucklehead. You know, this is awesome. You know, so she's in her library for music is so great. And then she told me she liked Danny Elfman and Oingo Boingo. I was like, yeah, I remember listening to Oingo Boingo when I was a kid.
Yeah.
From that movie, Back to School with Dead Man's
Back
Party.
to School,
and all that.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah. You got Kurt Vonnegut to write his Chariot of the Gods term paper.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So she told me she liked that. I was like, oh, really? So me and her been jamming a lot lately, man. So she's starting to get into a lot more metal, and she loves a lot of 80s music, and even more so, like she said, she liked Oingo Boingo a lot. You know, so it's great to see them turn the corner on that.
Streaming and Spotify and all that stuff's made my daughter and I like even closer than we probably would have been. You know, it's just, you know, it's so cool to, you know, have her call up and go, God, I just heard No Quarter by Led Zeppelin. Oh my God.
No.
You know, and I'm like, you hadn't heard that yet? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. So, you know, we were talking about a little bit about the covers. Have you heard the Sweet Dreams Manson version?
I did hear it. It's awesome.
Yeah. You liked it? Yeah.
Yeah, I do like it.
This is way different from Eurythmics. And, you know, it's their take on it. I ain't gonna lie to you, do like the Eurythmics version better, but Manson's twist on it is pretty awesome in its own.
It's kind of gothic, you know? Kind of gothy. I like it. You know?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. And,
I think it depends on what's going on that day will determine which one of those versions I play.
Agreed.
You know,
it's funny, man. I was when I was a kid, my you know, all those variety shows were on. Like, you know, Glenn Campbell had his own variety show, and at the end of the show, he would sing some of his songs, or he'd play with other artists or whatever. But you ever heard the song "Wichita Lineman"?
Yes.
Yeah, that song is an example of a 8 or 9 year old kid that was like, okay, that's just a beautiful song. There's no, I don't care when it was written, when it was made. You know, I still, like, if my Spotify's playing random and that comes on, you know, listen to the production values in that song because they're absolutely perfect. The whole song's just recorded perfectly. And it's one of those ones that'll make you cry if you listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever like Metallica's version of Whiskey in the Jar?
Yeah. I like Metallica.
I wasn't too sure. I wasn't too sure about it. I'm still kind of on the fence about it, you know?
I like pretty much anything they do. You know, that to me, you know, they're so unashamedly themselves and do whatever they want and always have. You know, from the very beginning, they've just done exactly what they want to do. And I've met a couple of the guys. You know, you know, Lars we've had on the show numerous times. One time we had him on and he was at a family reunion like in Switzerland or wherever he's from. And
he called him to be on the show during that.
It was like 4 p.m. over there and he was just S-faced on wine. And it was like the greatest interview ever. You know, and then I had this great conversation with Kirk about horror movies. Because he's a big horror movie buff, you know, and he has his own museum. You should see some of the memorabilia that he has. You know, it's weird stuff like the bathtub and shower head from Psycho, and you know, that he bought off the Hitchcock set or whatever. I mean, just cool stuff like that. It's really
you got too much money, you start buying stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have that Metallica money, it's like, send me the bathtub from Psycho.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I'd be the worst. I'd be the richest poor person.
One thing I can say about Metallica, definitely are more of the more well-rounded bands. You know, they started out in the thrash and then did take that leap to become more of a hard rock metal band, I guess you would say. But I'll give them credit, man. I know I give Dave a bunch of shit, and it's all in fun because I do love Metallica, you know, I do. But it's, as a teenager, when you're used to hearing Ride of Lightning and Master of Puppets and Kill 'Em All, and then you hear Load, and you're like, what the hell is this? You know, I kind of felt it was a big slap in the face. But now I have a appreciation. I listen to it on the stereo over here every now and then and appreciate the Load album now that I've matured.
Yeah.
You know, I do love Hero of the Day off the Load album. Probably one of my more favorite songs that I have in rotation right now, you know. So I appreciate the stuff.
That's the song. That's the song that rips Rock Bottom from UFO is Ate My Bitch. It's like it's almost the same riff, same structure, same tempo, same everything.
Yeah.
But what a great song to rip if you're going to rip it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Is there any bands like? Oh, go ahead, Lex.
No, go ahead. No, I wouldn't.
No.
Hit me.
I was just gonna say, man. You know, with metal, I was talking to Jose. It's like, you know, there's bands that, you know, if you know metal, like, you should know these songs. So I was going to kind of go over a couple of things, like, and you can agree, like, if that's the main one you think they're known for. You know what I mean? So I'll start out. If we had to start anywhere, there's no particular order. We'll start with the godfathers of metal themselves, and that's Sabbath. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think that if they're known for, I think the most iconic song would probably be Iron Man or the original Black Sabbath. You know,
if you're going to put something on their tombstone, you know, it would be either Paranoid or Iron Man, I would think.
Paranoid, Iron Man, yeah.
Although War Pig's a slight third. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so hard because they got such a great library. And it's really hard to pick one in particular, but I felt like that Iron Man has been in so many movies or in so many different things on TV. It's like you could probably choose that one and be like, oh, that was them, you know? So,
by the way, have you ever heard Cake's version of War Pigs?
No, I do. I did Cake too. Yeah. I've never heard that.
Yeah, check it out if you get a chance. It's pretty good.
I'm gonna look into that. All right.
Making a list. When I play this back and do the edits, I'm gonna sit here and start making a list of all things I have to go check out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Cake also does a great version of I Will Survive too. The disco. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Awesome. Hell yeah. With Metallica, I was thinking it was going to be Master of Puppets or One or Enter Sandman. It's like Enter Sandman was massive in its own right. And I think that's really kind of pushed them over the edge. But I kind of
for us true connoisseurs, I have to show the respect and do Master of Puppets.
Master of Puppets, yeah. Because I'm like, man, that was in Stranger Things, and my son Josh. He's like, "Do you like Metallica?" I'm like, yeah, dude, what are you talking about? I heard Master of the Pup. I'm like, oh, welcome to the club, buddy. Come on.
Yeah, you little pussy. And you better too. You better too, and don't come home.
You start pointing. You're a little late. You should have been like this.
I grabbed his phone. I'm like, I programmed a couple albums and far beyond. I did Metallica. Programmed a couple songs, and I did Down, and I did Pantera, Far Beyond Driven, you know, and
there you go.
So now he's got those in his library. But I was kind of like, really? You ask me if I know who this is? Yeah, bud, I know. Come here, let's have a little jam session, you know. But I was thinking with Ozzy, it's like I'm gonna roll with Crazy Train, but again, it's so hard because
you kind of have to. Although Suicide Solution's my favorite Ozzy song.
Yes. Yeah, man. And then with me in the 90s with Ozzy, it was No More Tears. That was my favorite for a while.
Yeah, No More Tears.
But you really can't compare it to like how Crazy Train came out with Randy Rhoads and man, that was.
I remember the first time we heard that, you know, and you just went, "Oh my god!"
Oh my god, yeah.
And I don't know. I love that one too. I Don't Know is a great song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then with, of course, who I call the kings of metal, Pantera. It's gonna obviously their most iconic song, which I've heard you guys play opening, is "Walk."
We played it probably 7,000 times over 33 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Walk, man. People give it a bunch of grief, man. I jump on TikTok and because I got a couple of buddies on there and they'll DJ overnight. And then I'll just be scrolling through and they're like, you do know Walk is like their worst song. I'm like, I took everything.
No, that's just what you tell people to sound cool. It's not their worst song. It's their best song.
Get out of here. That's like the most iconic song of that whole album.
Yeah, I'll give you an argument for songs like that for people to just say, yeah, without that song, you don't know all the other ones. So
exactly.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah,
man. I had a Motorhead, which I love Motorhead, man. I think it's for me, it's Ace of Spades.
It's got to be Ace of Spades, yeah.
Undeniably one of the best songs I've heard in a long time, man. I love Ace of Spades, man.
You ever heard their cover of the Stones? Oh God, I'm not. Please allow me to introduce. What song is that?
Sympathy for the Devil.
Sympathy for the Devil. Yeah, got my memories just going away.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses did a very good version of that.
Yeah,
Sympathy for the Devil. But I prefer the Stones version over GNR's, but it was still pretty damn good. Write that down.
See me leaning over. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I don't know if you like Slipknot at all.
I do.
Oh, okay. I like their Iowa album. Yeah, I like the Iowa album, but that's to me, I think Iowa's like their heaviest album. But I think if you listen to their first album with like Wait and Bleed, that's what turned me on to them. I don't know if you could think of another song that would probably be like,
I've heard about 4 songs of theirs I like. I'm not super familiar with them, to be honest. I know more about Corey's solo stuff than
Corey's with who's he do? Stone Sour?
Yeah, Stone Sour.
Stone Sour is very good. Very good. It's nothing like Slipknot, but I really do appreciate it, and it's very good. Very, very, very good.
Yeah.
Love it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you got to be a pretty talented dude to like separate 2 genres and make money at both of them.
He can actually sing too, which was great. He not only he can scream pretty good, but he can sing really, really good on top of that. He's got a great voice,
Yeah, a talented guy, and I'll tell you this much: really nice guy. We've had him on the air a couple times here in Dallas. Yeah, very nice guy.
Nice, man. That's awesome. Yeah. So it's nice to hear when you hear some of these guys, man. That you kind of think they would be larger than life. They probably be dicks, but they're actually really cool. So it's nice to hear that.
Yeah, it's actually the metal guys that are probably the coolest, to be honest with you. At least to us, they were.
Yeah.
But then again, you have people telling them that you got people telling them, before they come in on the air, what a couple of assholes we are. So it's just.
So do you think they tone it down because of you guys, or the other way around?
It just comes down to somebody's experience with you, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I picked up Priest, and I chose Breaking the Law.
My favorite metal band.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I love Priest, man. I love they did a Painkiller tour. That was really great. I love Priest, man. Halford has such a talent, man. Everything they've done has been pretty solid.
Green Man Alicia, baby, one of the greatest metal songs ever.
Yeah. And I know you don't like Megadeth, which hurts my heart, but I did choose them because they're personal to me, man.
Like I said, it's more the guy than the music. So that's
and I can see that too. And it's not the first time that somebody said that. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that. I can really see that.
Yeah, he's kind of a douche.
I don't like believing it, but it's like I get the vibe that truly is it.
He's very full of himself. That's what makes him so douchey. I don't know if he's that way anymore. I don't know if he's been humbled, but my experience
he probably got humbled a little bit. I would imagine he would have been humbled, especially he's calling for a tour with Metallica now at this point. So he probably had to use the pro.
You would think after you're on your 100,000th person and going, you got kicked out of Metallica, bitch. You would think at some point that would humble you.
Yeah, hell yeah. That one with Megadeth, man. I like Holy Wars, and that. It was either Holy Wars for me or it was Hangar 18.
Hangar 18 is a pretty cool song.
Badass song. Yeah. That was one of the main songs that really got me into Megadeth growing up. And they had Peace Cell's album, but it was not as good as rest in peace. So I chose that one because they have a lot of great albums after that. I mean, I do like a lot of Megadeth, and I chose Maiden as well. And I love Run to the Hills.
Run to the Hills that's going to be on the tombstone for them.
Yeah. And I had my dad, or either my mom or my dad, had this greatest of the 80s, and it was a mixture of metal, rock, and like R&B. And Run to the Hills just happened to be on this. And I was like, oh, Maiden, let me check this out. And I don't think I haven't heard of that before. And I plugged in, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So that was my experience, my first experience with Maiden. So
I thought they had the best stage backdrop of any band I saw.
Yeah.
Back in the day. The skull and the
skull,
yeah. Yeah, and it had like
yeah.
snakes coming out of it, and so it was awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You had, who I thought had a really good background, and I did get an opportunity to see him, was White Zombie. Had a really good stage set.
Oh God, I love them.
They had one off their Astro Creep album. They toured with Pantera, and it was a tour back in '97, and they were the opening act for Pantera, and it was amazing, absolutely amazing. They were so tight-knit musically. The stage set was amazing. How black light, like marionettes were going in these crosses. It was like, what the hell am I watching? This is awesome.
Now, Thunder Kiss 65 is just a beastly song, man. I'm sorry. It is.
Oh, yeah, man. So those were pretty good ones. I've always loved, he had a great stage set, and my dad took me to see it. They took me to see Aerosmith and Kiss. And Kiss was opening up for Aerosmith, but they were rotating acts or whatever. And they blew me away, man. I thought Kiss was amazing. I didn't think I'd like it, but I loved every second of it.
What was that song I did? It's like Welcome to the Motherfucker or something like that, or the White Zombie song. It's a great song. It's got the girl going
That was more human than human.
No. Well, that's in that song too. But this one is like, oh God, what is the name of that song? It's on the.
Is it on Astro Creep or
it's like one? Welcome to something. Welcome, and God, it's a great song. But it's
we go say you know what that is?
I'm looking it up right now.
Because I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, do you guys have the ability to play anything?
Yeah, I got a nice little guitar selection, man. I have
No, I mean, if we find this song, we'd be able to play it.
Oh.
You know what? I think I can.
Yeah, because I was going to say, if you can, we'll have you go ahead and do it. If not, then I'll try to play it out loud from this end.
I'll find it.
If we can find the song, that's going to be the key to this one.
No, I'm going to find this song.
Because we don't know the album, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got it on my playlist. That's why it should be easy to find.
Yeah, but your playlist probably has a bazillion songs on there.
Not as many as you think.
I mean, let's be honest.
I am a pretty particular dude when it comes to my music.
Okay.
Plus, being in the business I'm in, I have heard all of it 1,000 times. Yeah. So it's like there's like all these Zeppelin songs that you think everybody. Oh, here it is. Welcome to the planet, motherfucker. Okay, this is it. Here we go. Let's see.
That is it. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to hook it up Bluetooth. I'm doing that right now. Technology, right, guys?
Hell yeah.
That's right. Well, White Zombie, 1992.
Yeah, I know this. It's a good song.
Yeah, it's a great song, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hold on. I'm almost there. What's this thing called we're on again? Roadcaster. There we go. Yeah.
Riverside.
Boy, I sure hook up to a lot of stuff. Oh, man. This is embarrassing.
All right. Let me know if you can hear mine.
All right. I'm looking. Do you have it?
Yeah.
I mean, I can always put it up here. And when the chick kicks in.
Yeah.
Here she comes.
Yep. Yep.
It's a great song, man.
Hell yeah.
It's a great riff.
Love it.
Sorry that took so long.
No, I completely forgot about that. I'm glad you brought that back up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The reason why it is fresh in mind, I'd heard it just the other day. Now I need to turn it off. There we go.
I mean, I could always imagine when they're doing the edits and stuff, and they're putting things in there that weren't in there originally. You always have that one guy on the board going, "You want me to do what?"
Yeah. Or he does it, and then the artist goes, "Hey, put that back in."
That's right. Like you know,
it's like, dude, that was audio of my sister getting railed on the board last night. Oh, sorry.
Oh man, that's good. So you said you listen to Slayer at all? You like them?
I love Slayer, man. I got to spend time, excuse me, in a green room with those guys. And
nice.
they were, I mean, it was like a case study of watching how to get ready to go on stage as a metal band.
Really?
I mean, yeah, they all had each other's back. It's like, yeah, don't forget your wrist bracelets. Don't forget. Yeah, where's your fucking eye patch? Yeah. So, here it is. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's great. But once again, nice guys.
Yeah, my buddy Marshall McMinns, he plays in a band called Order by Chaos, a local Jacksonville band, and they were coming up, and they opened up for Slayer on Halloween night when it was called either Plush or The Edge in Arlington, and
Plush,
yeah, it was Plush, and Slayer was there, and I'm here to tell you they packed them in on. We were like a bunch of sardines, and, you could go down into the pit or you could walk onto the sides, and I'm probably like 5 feet from Kerry King, and I'm like, "Oh, Kerry!" And that was an amazing show. Absolutely amazing, brutal show, man.
That venue had some great shows.
It did. Yeah, I've seen ICP there.
I think they ran into some underage serving shit and all that stuff.
Yeah,
it's not that anymore. Yeah, they closed it, but
what is it now?
You know what? I think it's some sort of like a carpet depot or something where they store carpets. Because I think what happened was that they started doing UFC style fighting in there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
And then they had a couple of issues because they had the foam party all the way down with the mosh pit. Well, we call it a mosh pit, but where the bottom level, they started having foam parties and stuff started happening, and girls started having to call police because of
yeah.
That
I knew something like that happened. That they were having some police problems, and
then that owner had to give it up, and then the next guy tried to reopen it, and it was supposed to be like rap, reggae, and then the place got shot up, and then after that it was like
that's what happened there. D said that place it was doing rap and. It got out of control.
Yeah. Yeah, because I went down there one time, and I know this is not metal, but I went down there and I seen Wu-Tang Clan down there. Yeah. I love Wu-Tang Clan, man. I know it's not metal, but I love them. I think they're great.
Yeah, I think it was great.
Yeah, the one time my wife got upset was we were supposed to go see Sean Paul because he was hitting up 3 places in Jacksonville, and they were all smaller venues. And that was supposed to be one of them, but she didn't get a chance to go. And she's held it over my head. Now, we're going to be 23 years in April. And she's still holding the thing over my head. I didn't get a chance to see Sean Paul. And now he's married. I'm like,
listen, that's what they do.
You're my wife. What, I don't understand what that means. The logic.
What does that mean?
It's like my ex-wife. Let's make sure we make that understood.
I won't edit it out. Don't worry.
We 11 years before we got married, and we were married for 20 years. So we were going to my parents' house, and she's like, "Don't leave me to talk to your parents alone, and have to make conversation while you watch football and all that." Well, it was like the playoffs, so of course, my dad and I are kind of watching the games, but I kind of thought I was mixing it up pretty good back and forth, but she did not. 31 years later, man. It's like, remember that time that we went to your parents' house and you left me hanging?
Yeah.
I said, you know what? It's been so fucking long. No, I don't actually.
So, like, do you want to hear something really crazy? This argument blows my mind. This one completely.
I had parents. Yeah.
So my wife told me, and she argues all the time. She tells the story to everybody. She goes, Jose was DJing in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Now, this is, I think, early 90s. When she was with her first husband, who was from Allentown, Pennsylvania. They went to the club where I was spinning at. At the time, I think I had some Newmark stuff, and we were messing with CDs and having a good time making. We were able to burn CDs, and I'd just be able to make something that played for like 8 minutes. That way, I can go have a beer and relax. She said, "You should have married me then." And I'm thinking, how is this even an argument?
Yeah.
I was working. You were with your husband at the time. I didn't even know you existed until I moved to Jacksonville. And she's like, "Well, you had your opportunity then." And I'm like, "What in the world?" I was focused on music, not the random girl I'm going to marry years later.
Here's the thing about girls. You're such a bunch of game players. You don't even let us know if there's opportunity or not. So stop.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, Lex, I've known his wife since high school. I was a sophomore when she was a junior, and his wife and my wife were friends. And they were best friends in school. So it's kind of like
second grade, I think, right?
Oh man,
second grade, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
A little too close to home, there, kids.
Yeah, man.
That couldn't have happened with my friends. There would have been some selling out going on. I don't know. But
it's a small world.
But hey, seems like you pulled it off all right,
Yeah.
But I
do you
know.
Play it all?
I didn't start playing guitar till I was 58 years old. And,
I remember you were picking it up. I remember you telling me about picking it up, and I didn't never heard any sense.
And I got to live my dream. I went and rehearsed with this band, and we got 4 songs down. A couple AC/DC songs, and a couple Kiss songs, and I played those 4 songs on stage. And I remember thinking to myself, getting off the stage, it's like, okay, I now know what that feels like.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Because I always wanted to know. I always, and it's like, and I literally was able to put it down after that, which,
really?
I've had some health problems where I can't, I can't play.
At least you got a chance to check it off your list. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I mean, what a shame to be in the music business as many years as I was and not have done that sooner. But I just didn't. I was too busy. But I decided I had some disposable income. I was going to go buy a guitar, and my daughter beat me to it. She bought me an SG. And the Angus Black SG.
Oh hell yeah!
Where's it now?
I ended up selling it with all my other guitars because I ran into some financial stuff. Yeah. I'm okay now, but at the time I had to divest of some stuff, and in order to make things work. And it's okay, I mean, I still have a Gretsch, that I'm holding on to, but which is one of my favorite guitars. It's just so nasty sounding. It's just got the just grungiest, nastiest sound to it. And it's funny. I was watching that show Nashville, and that's like all they play on there, and they just like took all the soul and gushiness out of them. They sound all melodic and twangy. It's like, what have you done? What have you done with a those beautiful pickups they put on those guitars.
What was the purpose of them making that change to it, though? Like, what were they aiming for?
What do you mean?
Well, if they're going to change the sound of the guitar and it sounds...
Oh, I mean, I guess they ran it through a pedal or something, but man, they literally took the soul out of that thing. The thing I loved about those guitars was they needed nothing as far as to make them sound dirty. You know, they're just fantastic. And, you know, I'm still mystified how they made them sound all melodic and everything, but if I was producing a record and wanted a melodic guitar, that'd be the last one on my list. You know,
I got the old Dimebag Special, the old Dean back there, the MLX, and I got me actually I got like 2 more Deans back there, a couple of Dimebag series, and I got a Zach Wild Audio is a brand new one I just picked up about for $2,000. Was it's the Bullseye Barbarian, and it's I break it out, but it's amazing. It's probably the best guitar I've ever played, hands down, the best guitar I've ever played.
I had five or six of them for a while. I had a couple of Les Pauls, had a couple of Gretsch, had a couple of Gibsons. Had one Telecaster because I just love that guitar.
Telecaster?
Yeah. And you know, but you don't ever see a metal band playing a Telecaster.
Telecaster, exactly. Yeah. Isn't that more like a jazz kind of a guitar? If I'm not mistaken?
I mean, it's a pretty well-rounded guitar. You can play a lot of different genres of music on it, but where I see it the most is like that flanged melodic alternative records, or like Springsteen played one. Okay. You know, it's a very twangy. You know, you see a lot of country bands use them and everything, but it's an authentic guitar, man. It is a good one. You know. Yeah. But
with my Dean, I put some new pickups on it. It sounds pretty damn good. I put a dime bucker, and because they got these, Dean has these DMT pickups. They're okay, man. So I pulled it out. I put the dime bucker in it. It's filthy, man. It's so much more intense, you know. So I got that. It got me a nice badass little Crybaby from Hell pedal with a distortion. Got a orange amp in here. My kid, I gave her an Ibanez Geo, and because she wanted to play guitar, but she's got a nice Ibanez bass in the back with a big ass Marshall amp. But I gave her a distortion pedal because she didn't have one, so she was just playing a basic sound. So I hooked her up, and I plugged it in. I go, all right, play the bass real quick, and then she played. And I go, now hit the pedal with the distortion on it. And she plays, and she's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, all right, kid, let's get it. She loves it.
It's one of those when they go, so that's how you do that.
Yeah, man, she's totally gets down on it. Yeah.
See that that Les Paul that originally Peter Green and Fleetwood Mac owned it. And if you go back and listen to like real early Fleetwood Mac records, I mean, this guitar.
I love Fleetwood Mac. Yeah,
it's just filthy. It's a filthy sounding guitar, and it's passed hands through all kinds of people. I forget who owns it now, but it's like going for $300,000. You know, that's one of those type of guitars.
Wow.
And
Steve had that kind of money. He'll go pick it up.
Yeah, and it's like all famous people that have owned it. You know. Yeah. If you just Googled Peter Green, Les Paul, they could probably tell you who owns it right now and what it's worth. It's a ton of money. But I love those stories, man. I just,
I know back in the day, I always wanted a Fender Strat, and I wasn't too sure because it sounded more, for me, I felt like it was more of a bluesy kind of a guitar and this and that. And everybody, all my buddies they couldn't afford a Strat, so they got a Squier, which is your entry-level Fender, which sounds great. You know, my buddy Keith, who is a connoisseur of guitars, he has about like 30 or 40 of them. He goes, I love my Squier. It's probably one of the best guitars I own, you know? So
you buy really on it. You can take Squiers and the low end guitars like those, and you can turn them into monsters if you put the right pickups in them. You know, it's so fun. It is so fun. You know, I've seen some people just take that crappy ass guitar and turn it into one of a kind, the one that everybody wants, but they won't get rid of it because it's like I want $35,000 for it. I'm not going to give you that for a Squier.
Right?
And they're like, well, then don't.
Yeah, I know the first guitar I ever got, I got it for my 16th birthday, was the Ibanez. And I still got it.
Which is a great guitar.
Absolutely amazing guitar. Yeah, I still have it. Still plays great. It's got a Floyd Rose on it. I love it. I have it sitting in the back. I don't play it no more, but I love it though.
There's a Les Paul copy company. I can't remember their name right now, but I had 2 of those, and they're really good.
They sound good.
Yeah, something stone. I can't remember.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Man. So I got a great collection. I know BC Gritch has a really good guitar. Like I said, my buddy Keith just picked up one of the new Eddie Van Halen guitars. He has a line of them out. That's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I had a Jackson that was great for metal.
Jackson, yeah. Love Jackson. Yeah. Jackson's very good.
Yeah, but hard guitar to play. Very hard guitar. Yeah.
I've never played it, but I always hear great things.
Felt like the strings were like a foot off the fretboard. It's like,
really?
Yeah, I wasn't strong enough to.
Push them down, get it where it need to be.
What's even crazier? Like I love a banjo. I know it sounds really stupid to hear me sound, but I love the way a banjo sounds, man. I know it's kind of like folky, but I think it turned me on to a banjo was Pride and Glory, which was there was Black Label Society before they turned into Black Label.
Nothing stupid, man. As you get older, you appreciate stuff more. It's like I used to leave the room when Hee Haw was on when I was a kid. I'd give anything to see Roy Clark play banjo. With Glenn Campbell and Roy Clark. Remember that? Those 2 would do that thing at the end of the show, and then it's like
do one banjo.
It's like, if those 2 are playing together today, they'd be getting about $400 a ticket to play some nice sized venue somewhere. And they were on our little stupid Squawk Box on Saturday night.
I tried playing a banjo, man, and I just don't know if I have the coordination to really play it. I don't know if I can.
It's a whole different cadence.
It's a whole new thing, man. It's a whole new different kind of a picking because I feel like you're using all your fingers opposed to just strumming it like that. But God, I'm like, no way, man. I don't think I can do it. I really want one, but I just don't think I can play it.
I think if you want to have faith in you, you'd learn how to play and you'd play it.
Probably. Yeah. Probably.
Mm-hmm. You'd look sick playing a banjo, man, with all your metal shirts on and your bald head and all that. Right. That's the kind of stuff that like goes big. Yeah.
I randomly call Steve, who are we gonna have on the show next? And then I realized in the video he's wearing like a Slipknot shirt and a banjo. He's like, can't talk right now, bro.
You mean Uncle Fester, the name of your act, the banjo. This guy looks like Uncle Fester and Adam's Family, and he plays a banjo. It's like, yeah, I got to see that.
They pay money to see him.
Yeah. I'd pay good money to see it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, cool. That was a great talk. As always.
Let's do this again.
Hell yeah, for sure. So we got a little guest announcement for next episode we got going on. We just got to agree to have Agree to Hate to come on. Local Jacksonville band coming up. Excited to hear these guys. Lex, you haven't had a chance to check them out. They're going to be coming on probably the next podcast we do.
Next podcast.
So,
that's right.
So we're going to need you to reach out to them. They confirmed it today. So to set up the times. So
we'll get it done.
And as always, and Lex, and as always, we're going to push out Lex and Terry in the morning, man. I love the show.
Thanks, man.
And it's always fresh. I'd never disappoints. And the one thing I can say too is that I was really disappointed that when I turned it on one time and I didn't hear you guys on the air, I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Neither did we.
And I had to listen to sports talk radio. And I never thought I'd listen to sports talk. I listened to 1010 XL. I know those guys very well too. So, but then one day I turned it on. I'm going, wait a minute. Is this now? What's going on here? Am I hearing this live right now? And then I waited, and it was like, oh my God, they're on the air. And I've listened to you ever since again. And I was like, yeah, man. So
thanks, man. We used to talk shit to each other for a while, Rick Ballou and us. But he and I like kind of struck up a nice friendship, man. fills me in on all the Jag dirt and everything. What a season, by the way, huh?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, absolutely. What a great turnaround. I mean, I love my Lions, but again, I adopted the Jaguars as soon as they got the team. I was a Jaguar fan, and it's such a great turnaround to see Liam Cohn come in and do what he did.
Yeah,
and he caught a lot of heat just because of the way he said Duval.
Yeah, I remember. It went national, dude.
Yeah.
It was bad.
I was like, okay, they're not going to be very good this year, and to my surprise, they killed this year.
Yeah. As soon as I saw they brought in Gladstone and Baselli, I knew they were serious.
They were serious. Yeah, that's what everybody. That's what everybody was saying. Yep.
And they keep that nucleus in place. They'll be serious for years to come. And
because there was a few teams they had that were pretty successful. If they had not broken up the team, who knows? They could have probably went pretty good. But man, they got a good thing, man, right now for sure.
Yeah, I think Doug lost.
The level we are now, longer. Earlier.
I think Doug lost the team last year. I think that team was good enough to make some noise. It just kind of fell apart and didn't gel anymore, and all that. But a lot of people don't realize, and nobody talks about it, that Trevor Lawrence, if the Jags don't fumble, I forget who fumbled down on the 8-yard line against the Chiefs a couple of years ago, they were going to be in the AFC Championship game.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
They were getting ready to go in and score with hardly any time left. And
any time,
yeah,
absolutely. And also, I'll scream it to the day is long. Miles Jack was never down. He was not down at all.
Yeah,
he was not down.
They desperately wanted the Patriots back in the Super Bowl, and
they did too. They got it, and too. When I remember watching Bortles throw a pass, if he just put a little bit more air on it too, the guy would have never tipped the ball. That guy goes in, he walks in for a touchdown. Jag goes Super Bowl.
Yeah, people rain on Doug Marrone, man, but you have Blake Bortles as your quarterback, and you make it to the AFC Championship game. You're pretty good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The guy did a good job.
Did a damn good job. Yeah.
They're very quick to dismantle stuff when they shouldn't have been. Like that team, if they just would have kept it together and left everything alone and come back the next year, they would have been, I have no doubt in my mind, they would have gone to the Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They had quite a few teams that were pretty damn good. And if they hadn't broke it up, who knows, man, they were really good enough to do it,
What do you think about Shedeur Sanders going to the Pro Bowl over Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, that's a slap in the face, man. Trevor Lawrence, he played his ass off.
That's a slap in the face to Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought it was when I seen it, I thought it was a joke, but it was 100% serious. I was like, okay, this is really a thing. This was
one of those pre-selected. We're going to do this because it's going to help us somewhere else versus who really should have been there.
Well, they said several guys turned it down, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't get the distinction of the title. I mean, for years and years, there's been plenty of players. It's like, I'm not playing in that thing.
Right.
Drake May's not going to play in it because he's in a game next weekend.
Yeah, but at least give him the opportunity or give him the honor to say you were selected, but you can't play. Obviously can't play now. But
all these idiot Browns fans, we were right about Shedeur. It's like, you're right about they made it through 27 quarterbacks, so they got somebody to say yes to go play in that abomination of a flag football game.
Yeah, I did. Was it on? Did it play already?
No, it's this weekend.
This weekend.
But it's so ridiculous, man, because it's like all it is an opportunity for guys to get hurt. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is.
Just don't play the game. It's
didn't they used to do like a skill competitions back in the day?
Yeah, that's what hockey's doing, and they're having a great time with it.
Yeah, they just do that. I remember watching Favre and Jim Harbaugh. I think they're trying to see who was the ball the farthest. Yeah, and that's I was like, man, do that shit.
You ever seen the hockey one where the guy's breaking the plates? I have seen it. Yeah, that's fun to watch.
Yeah. Who's your team?
I got two of them. I got the Penguins and the Stars. Those are my two teams.
That's what I figured. Yeah,
Penguins have been doing well too.
Penguins are having a good year. They are.
Yeah.
Because my daughter, we were following the Penguins, and you know how our phones are Android, so it pins it up there. And I'll be going to look at something, and I'm like, okay, they're winning.
I wish they were a little better. I mean, they're going to be first or second round out in the playoffs, but at least they're back in the. I think they're going to be back in the playoffs.
The playoffs, yeah.
You know, but if they can play like they did in that Detroit game I watched, where they literally held them to 2 shots on goal last month. It was a national game. I was like, oh my God, man, these guys are suffocating.
Yeah, that's my team, man. I love Detroit, man. It's tough.
If the Pens can be that team, then I like Detroit too. You know, as a Stars fan, I can't believe I'm even saying that, but you know, I'm still butt hurt from back in the late '90s. Yeah,
the '90s, yeah, man, for sure. I remember that. Yeah, that was hockey time, man. They were great back then. But then it became like Colorado was very good, and they've been good for a while.
Yeah, Colorado's the team this year.
Yeah, are they?
Yeah. Oh God, they are so stacked with.
I've been slacking on my hockey, man. I ain't gonna lie.
McKinnon's got like 50 goals already. It's not even the All-Star break yet. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Anyway,
I guess we should wrap this up, and we're about 4 hours into this.
Yeah.
But man, this was fun, man. What a great conversation. Let's do this again.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I'll be listening to you in the morning as always, man. I'll be listening to you.
All right, fellas. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you again, Lex. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you coming on.
And I will pimp this on my social. So let me know when it's
awesome. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna email you my number so we can text. All right.
Absolutely.
All right, man. All right,
bye,
boys.
guys.
Hey, bud.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.